Well, hello. Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday. Welcome, welcome. Let me get my setup going and welcome. All right. Hey, this morning's topic. Hello, my name is Tammy. Thank you for joining me. Today's topic is mistakes to avoid when starting an online business. Okay. So, yes, I've been with the online business for 3 months now, over 3 months. And these are some things that I've learned along the way. I want to pass that on to you because I know what it's like. So, welcome. Hello. Hello. Yes, I am a stay at home wife for 30 years. And I came to the online space because my husband retired and our fixed income was not enough. And I wanted to do something about it. So today I'm going to share a bit about my story and how that fits into having an online business. And I want to share 3 mistakes you want to avoid when you have your online business. So, welcome in. If this is an interest to you, you're a Gen Xer, you're retired, you need just extra income, you want to replace an income. How many of you want to retire early? Right? Give me a wave. I understand. I want that for my husband as well, because when we got our fixed income, he went back to work. And as a 30-year stay at home, I said, I'm not doing it. I was terrified to go out into the workforce. So thank you for joining me today. Come on in. I have my TikTok family here and I have my YouTube family here. I appreciate you guys so much for showing up early on a Thursday morning. And I want to get started. Um, if you want to avoid these mistakes in starting an online business, I want to start at the beginning and tell you a little bit about me. I lost my job. Yes, I worked outside the home. I lost my job when my oldest was 20 months old and my youngest was 4 months old. And I had to come home to 2 babies, right? They had been in daycare and I haven't been with them all day long every single day, right? So that was, I'm not going to say traumatic, right? Because they're your own kids, but it was so different. Routines were different. And after I got over the shock of that, and losing an income, right? The pain of losing an income and you have a brand new family, that's scary stuff right there. And I had to start raising my own babies, but I started thinking about ways to earn money. How can I, as a stay-at-home, earn extra money? And well, truthfully, that led me through 7 businesses over the next 30 years of this story, and they all turned out to just be tax write-offs, right? You know when that happens, when you have a business, you're allowed 3 years of losses, and if it's not making more than your losses, that business needs to go away. You don't get to have 4 years of losses, and so that's how I ended up getting through so many businesses is tax write-offs. And I I realized even today, right? I'm still learning. So today I came across a Norman Vincent Peale quote. I share with that all the time. I have my morning meditations, my Bible reading, prayer time, and today I'm reading Norman Vincent Peale's book. You know who that is, right? The Power of Positive Thinking. He wrote a book and it's free on Audible. Enthusiasm Makes a Difference. And in it, he used these words: changed people change situations. Changed people change situations. And I stopped that Audible and I put a bookmark and I wrote that quote out because it just it it hit really deep. And what I felt was How many times do we look at a problem or a situation and think, right? What are we going to do now? And that's where I was, right? 30 something years ago when I had lost my job, I was still the same person. And I came against this problem, these circumstances, and it was so different from where I was. I was used to being told where to go, when to show up, what work to do, right? All I had to do is check my inbox, do the work, put it in the outbox, right? You had a staff around you, right? There's the accounting team, there's the promoters, marketing, there's personnel, right? All the systems were in place. And I just showed up and did my work and got to go home. And that's what I was used to. I didn't know anything about owning a business. My parents have never owned a business. I didn't learn this from them. It didn't even occur to me. You think you might want to do something like that? I was that worker bee and I was comfortable until you're not, until you lose your job and you have to make new decisions, but you're still the same person. How do you do that? How do you make that change? How do you cross over into something totally different? You have to change. And that's why that quote, changed people, change situations, hit me so hard. The light bulb came on that morning. That's what I'm talking about. And you have to figure it out. You have to decide, and this is what I'm talking about. You have to decide where you're going. Are you going to be defeated? Are you going to take that hardship and feel like there's no solutions? Poor me, and complain and whine and whatever, right? Or are you going to change? Because it's really about you. And I love that. It's always about me. But when you look at things, it has to start from inside. You have to change. You have to be the one to change situations. And it starts in your heart, but you have to change your mind that it's possible, that you have the power to do that. And if you're not there yet, how do you get there? I love the illustration I learned from Laura St. John, where she gives these emotions and it looks like a house. Have you ever seen this? And the 3 bottom floors are underground. They're in the dark. And there's doubts and worries and fear and anger, right? These are all low energy feelings. And then above ground, there's that happiness and confidence and trust, right? These beautiful things you want. Everyone wants these things. Do you know that's biblical? It's biblical to want these things because it was inside us all along, but we got sunk in and we were depressed. Something happened. There was a situation that you're not happy with. Losing a job for me. Not knowing what to do next. I wasn't a problem solver. I didn't have to be. I just had to show up, do my work, and do the thing, right? And that was comfortable. I wasn't used to making hard decisions. In fact, I literally walked through life that way, just doing the next thing. It was years later, get this, years later, after high school, that I realized I didn't have to take all those math classes. I just thought once you finished a class, you took the next class. I never investigated what was required to graduate. I just assumed that's how you were supposed to do it. And you just keep going and just keep going. And just take the next class. That's all I did. I just took the next class. I never really felt like I thought for myself. I wasn't a problem solver. And everything worked out. until it didn't, until I lost my job, right? It's not working out. I got 2 babies at home and, less income. Now what? And so that's why that quote, changed people, change situations, hit me today, just today. Hearing it that way was powerful. And actually, my husband is the one who suggested, why don't you start your own business? Doing what I was doing. I was a graphic artist at the time. Why don't you take those skills and start your own business? Now, why would he say that? Because he's been there. He has done that. He has always had a business going. This man worked from like 12. I mean, he's one of those stories, right? I had a paper route when I was 12 because there was things I wanted. I wanted a bike, I wanted a motorcycle, I wanted a truck. He always worked for it and doing whatever he could do to get there. And he was mechanically inclined, and he took tons of shop classes in high school back when they had a ton of shop classes in high school, and he learned skills. Now, yeah, he had a day job, but he could do things on the side, and that was his business. He had an RV repair business. We started a data protection business. He did those things, and he had no fear, no concern, because he had done that. And so he's the one who planted the seed. Why don't you start your own business? So this is where I want to go with this, right? Some mistakes we learn along the way that I want to help you avoid. And for me, that's something I would want different. If I could look back and do something different, this is what I would do. I gave this example yesterday in my live. Were you there? Did you hear this one? Where I learned to crochet. I wanted to know how to crochet. My grandma made beautiful stuff. And she said, well, great, here's a book. And so you have to teach yourself. And I learned to crochet backwards. I'd wrap my yarn the opposite way. And I didn't know any better. I didn't know what I didn't know. So how could I have known that was backwards? Until a professional was there and she stood behind me and she's like, oh, she saw it immediately. She saw it immediately. You're doing it backwards. And you have to make that decision right then and there. And what's odd, I can't quite remember, was I doing this for like 6 months or 2 years? Whatever it was, I remember the thought of, well, that's how I've always done it. I don't want to change. I want to just keep doing the habit I had all the time. I don't want to change. And she's like, okay, right? Because I'm crocheting for myself or my family. Who cares, right? But it sat with me and I was like, oh, you mean you can do it properly? You can do it the right way and it might look better and I can read patterns better. When I started tallying up all the ways doing something correctly the first time, right? You can progress farther and faster when you do something right the first time. So now I have to decide, do I want to break a habit that I've had for a long time in order to get better? And that's why we're talking about mistakes today. Are you willing to change? So think about that quote, changed people, change situations. If you are in a hardship right now, you need that extra income, your fixed income isn't enough, retirement's around the corner, and you're wondering, what are we supposed to do? When you look at what they're offering in your pension or whatever it is, and you're like, I'm going to make less than I did when I was working. I might as well keep working. My husband retired early. We relocated, and we went with nothing for a year. We lived off our savings for an entire year until he could get his pension. Now, these are choices we make, right? I'm not recommending this at all, but that's where we were in life and we thought we were doing the right thing. And then his check comes, and that's when I was like, oh, is that all it is? And he decided he needed to go back to work. And for 30 years, I have been searching for a business I could do to earn extra income. And for those 7 businesses, for them to all turn out and just be, tax write-offs, you I had to do something different. Something had to change. If I want to change the situation, circumstances, 99% of the time, it's you. You're the one who has to change. And are you willing to do that? So I want to start there. I want you to start thinking about what can you be doing differently? And definitely I found um, digital marketing has been a lifesaver to me. I have grown so much. I love this business that I show up for you to teach you how to do it, things to avoid. That's why we're here today, mistakes to avoid in doing digital marketing, because I want you to be successful quickly. I want you to enjoy the business. I've had, like I've said, 7 businesses, and they've taken a lot out of me. Part of it was I was doing it all on my own. And technically, this is where we want to stop that, right? Figuring out your pricing, your product, who's doing the delivering and the accounting and the software I needed to start that very first business. I didn't have guidance. I didn't have a coach behind me. All I had was my husband's faith. All I had was the vision my husband had that you can do this. Okay, let's start. Let's just start trudging through all these decisions I've never had to make before to make a business take off. Oh, hello, grandma. Mindset. You have to change your mind, right? I would say several businesses, when I've joined several businesses like MLM, they definitely help you with mindset training. But I tell you what, I needed more than that, because today it's all clicking and I get it. I get what they were telling me back then, but I do believe it wasn't the right business. I wasn't willing to go all in and work 8 and 10 hour days. That was, I don't care how much mindset training you have, like you can do it, you can do it. Stop complaining, be a problem solver. When I was doing MLMs, I had to DM people, text people, call people. Yes, I'm a Gen X. Call people, meet people. I had booths. I had to talk to people in the grocery stores. I had to be friendly to everybody and sample products everywhere. I hated that. That was not for me. And I don't care how much mindset you can pour onto somebody, it wasn't sticking because I was in the wrong business. And that's where, when you find the right business, and I do believe in business, that's why I keep talking about this, because you show up better when that's a good fit, right? I found a business in digital marketing that's great for introverts. I found a business in digital marketing where I can work 2 hours a day on my cell phone and I get to use social media. Sign me up. This was a much better fit. And the mindset training has helped change me. I definitely have found I love getting up. I get up to do these lives at 8 a.m. my time. I would have never done that. I like to sleep in. I like my free time. Now I'm here and I'm excited. That's powerful. And then the vision of where we're going, right? To get out of debt, to make more income so that my husband's pension can go farther. I want to get on a plane and take off at a moment's notice. That was something I couldn't do before. I missed my daughter's wedding. It was a last minute wedding, and each weekend was changing, and it was too hard to plan a month ahead. We couldn't even go a month ahead to decide we were going to fly last minute for two people. I missed my grandbaby's birth, right? Financially, we weren't going to take a loan out or right? You want. Yes, Grandma, I am a legacy builder. So, yes, I'm talking about digital marketing with legacy builders, and the mindset training you can get in the program has been powerful, but you have to do your own too. So, I've been reading Norman Vincent Peale, and I came across this quote this morning that actually set me off on this rant of changed people, changed situations. And so I wanted to start there just to give you that bit of hope that whatever you're looking at right now, whatever your situation right now, can you make a difference? Can you change? And it has to be within you. Yes, it's possible. But many times I will say, I don't have that strength. I don't have that power. I needed to rely on my husband's vision for me. I had to rely on my husband's hope and encouragement that I could start a business. And then when I found this digital marketing program that had built in mentorship and coaching daily, I felt like I was home. I felt like I found the encouragement I needed, and it's it's been beautiful. Yes, I talked about Laura's mindset training, right? I love sharing that house concept, that if you feel like you can't change, if you feel like you're stuck, you're afraid of change, you don't know what's on the other side, how do you get there? How do you get ready to take that next step? Right? There's this book called Epic, and it's like every great story has a hero who has to step into over a threshold, and he has to there's a change. He has to make a change. And that's what we're talking about. When you start a business and it's brand new, that's tough. How do you get there? You have to summon up some courage. And I liked what Laura St. James said. John says, if you can get angry, that actually helps you. When you've fed up, done it, you are tired of life the way it is. I'm tired of not having enough money. I'm tired of not being able to see my kids when I need to see them in a crisis, whatever. I'm ready to get off my seat and do something. That's when you're ready to say, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to make a change. And that courage moves you into the possibilities. You've changed. That's why I keep loving that quote, changed people, changed situations. You're going to keep getting what you're getting if you keep doing what you're doing. So let's move on. All right. Are you ready? I've got three mistakes to avoid when starting an online business. And I want to help you with this because I've been there. Okay. So the first point, when you try to do it all yourself, that was me with my first business. I wanted to, I wanted to learn. Now, learning's like my middle name. I love learning things, but to do it all on your own takes a lot of time, takes a lot of energy. And like I said, with my example of crocheting, I didn't know I was looping my yarn the opposite way, right? Until somebody came along beside me and said, you might want to change that. So the point of trying to do it all yourself is that's a hardship. And if you can avoid that, if you can get coaching, help, if there was a way, step-by-step process that you could learn from somebody else who's already done it, who's already been there, wouldn't you rather do that? Like, so my very first business, right? I was a graphic artist and I had to learn the programming. I had to learn how to negotiate a price with Kinko's, right? I was making a product for realtors and I had to deliver it. I had to take photos of the properties. I had all these things I had to do, but I had to figure it out. And I figured out how to do it, in so many hours because I've got my 2 babies in the back seat, right? They were about 2 and about 6 months, somewhere in there, 8 months. They're doing this business with me, right? But I was willing to make the change. I was willing to do something different. And so, yes, I want to, as a stay-at-home, contribute to the family's income. So, number 1, mistake. And I'm calling it a mistake. Probably all of us have done it, but you learn from your mistakes, right? So if you can avoid this, I highly recommend avoiding this, doing it all yourself. You've got to find a way to get extra help. So in my regular job, before I lost my job, this is why I brought it up. There was an accounting team. There was a personnel department. There was a manager. There was somebody out soliciting for the work that they brought back. Then I did the work and then they put it back out, right? That was very comfortable. There was tons of support. There was a receptionist who answered the phones, right? I didn't have to do those things. But when you start your own business and you're doing all those things yourself, that's tough. What if your email system was automated? What if you could use social media marketing to do your marketing for you? And it only added this much time to your day. Could you do it? When you have attraction marketing, you're utilizing the social media to do that for you. You're letting the algorithms do that for you. And if you can do multiple platforms, like I'm with my YouTube family here and I have my TikTok family here, I can reach more people. And then the content I'm creating lasts. It's always there, 24 hours a day. Someone can search and find this. And that's what I mean. It's always working. I'm not always working. The systems are working. The marketing is working. And then people discover you and they put their email in, nevertoolateincome.com, and they get more information. What is she talking about? How does this work? They want that, and it's available 24 hours. Right? I've had people sign up for my email list to get more information at midnight. This Gen Xer is not awake at midnight. rarely awake at midnight. But it's available for my customers. When they need it, they can find it. If they're on the other side of the world and it's morning for them, they can find it, right? It's always available. So that means I'm doing less. I'm not doing it all myself. I have automated systems doing that for me. Now, how to get started? Yes, it takes a little bit of time to put your systems together. You've got to put your info in, and then the automated systems start working, right? I had to choose a business name. Generally, I say that's the hardest part of the business, coming up with your name, your business name. You want something easy to remember, something easy to type, right? So nevertoolateincome.com. I chose that because after 30 years of a stay-at-home, 7 different businesses, it's never too late. It's never too late. Any age. I'm talking to retirees, people with fixed income. It's never too late to make extra money. So I want you to have this hope, this possibility that you can change, that circumstances can change when you are ready to change. All right, let me get here to point number 2. Oh. I'm going to just write this, but then I have to explain it, okay? So if you focus on the wrong platforms, that's a really broad statement, right? So obviously I love TikTok. I started with TikTok just about 3 months ago, and I started from scratch. I've started figuring it out. I'm more of an IG girl, Facebook. I've had those a lot longer, but I wanted to be fresh. I wanted to be new. I knew I could get my algorithms in shape if I started fresh. And that's why you might want to consider where you want to start your digital marketing business. In the program I'm using, people are using Pinterest. People are using LinkedIn. They're finding where they want to go, but they focus there. And so that's my little explanation, my caveat for focusing on the wrong platforms. Are you focusing on too many platforms? That's one caveat. You want to focus and get really good at the platform you're choosing. You want to get really good and consistent on the platform you're choosing. So what might be wrong for somebody else might be right for you, but just focus there. Give it some attention. Put your energy there. Tell a little bit about your life and a little bit about your business to have this attraction marketing work for you. And don't spread yourself too thin, right? Because each platform is a bit different. I would say TikTok moves really fast, and Instagram is, I find, photo driven. And me being there for years as an artist, I loved that. And I found a great community of like-minded artists, and I loved watching their photos. Reels were okay. In fact, took a long time to get comfortable with reels. I knew that my kids loved that. They're on TikTok scrolling. They could do the reels on Instagram. It's scrolling, it's entertainment, it's quick, it's fast. And I felt like that's what TikTok was. It's a very quick and fast and entertaining and a lot of video, where Instagram was actually based on photo images. That's where it found its niche to be that kind of platform. Today, you're seeing most of the platforms are more similar. They've all gone to stories, 24-hour stories. They all have reels in the sense, right, that you can watch 30-second reels, 1-minute reels, and you just spend your time scrolling. So that's why I wanted to be on TikTok. I want to keep my Instagram for my scrolling time, because when I get sucked into those reels, I'm there for an hour and you don't even realize that time went by. So pick your platform that you want to really engage with. And for me, I decided to do something brand new. I started with TikTok from zero. And you can find my first video. I thought I was doing something right, and then very quickly realized, oh, that's not what TikTok wants. So I had to change. And I was okay with that. When you're learning something new, it's okay, right? Of course, we want to avoid mistakes, but if you learn from your mistakes, that's the difference. Okay. Can you grow? Can you change your ideas? All right. I'm going to bring up crochet. I know it just shows my age, but when I was doing crochet incorrectly, one, my product doesn't look right. Something's off about it, but you can't quite put your finger on what it is unless you know what you're doing. And the person who knew what they were doing knew immediately what I was doing wrong. And you have to decide, well, that's how it is. I'm always going to do it this way. Or are you willing to break a bad habit? Are you willing to change directions? Right? That's one reason I've had 7 businesses. I was always looking for the right fit. I was always looking, how can I make extra income, but keep the lifestyle that I have? I want to have free time. I've been a stay-at-home for 30 years. And when you become an empty nester, okay, once you get over the shock of being an empty nester after homeschooling your kids for 12 years, you're like, oh, this is kind of nice. I like being able to go here, do that, be whatever, that freedom. Well, I didn't want to let go of that freedom, but I wanted to make extra income. How do you do that? Digital marketing, 2 hours a day. You get to work with your cell phone and you get to have social media be your platform. So I want you to focus on one platform, then focus on 2. Don't spread yourself out too thin and saying, I'm going to do all 50 platforms and hoping somebody will find me. Give your energy to one thing, because here's the other thing. You need to respond to comments. You need to respond to those questions. And if you have to pop onto 50 other platforms to find them, you're cutting into your day where you can be successful on one platform. You can reach six figures on 1 or 2 platforms. Did you know that? So don't spread yourself out chasing the numbers, because it's going to cost you a lot of time. And you want a 2-hour workday, don't you? I want a 2-hour workday, of course. So I'm focusing on 2 platforms, and you just follow the strategy. If you look at legacy builders, there's strategies built for every platform. So pick one and get really good at it. Okay, so point 3. Ooh. All right. This one's tough because this has kept me back on probably all of my businesses. Strategy. Having a clear strategy. How many of you start a business and you don't have a clue what you're doing? Right? That's me. When I found digital marketing, I hadn't even heard of it before. And all I remember was a friend saying, well, I hope my old brain can get this. And I thought, oh, that sounds hard. That sounds, I don't know. But then I opened up the program for legacy builders, and the strategy was built in, just step by step. It was all there. Now you need to decide, right? Who's your perfect customer? You have to decide what hours you want to work. Is it going to be morning and then you have the rest of the day free? Do you need to split it up during the day? Maybe you're still working, and so you're taking your half-hour lunch to do part of the business, right? But strategize. I know sometimes that's a dirty word. Some of us don't like strategy. We like going with the flow. But a little bit of planning takes you so much farther, faster. It's true, right? I don't know. So that's one of the biggest challenges when you're starting an online business. not knowing what steps to take next, right? When I had my very first business, I was trying to do the business like I did it when I was in the office. But when you're doing it from home, so many things, there's so many moving parts. How do I know what to do first? How do I know what to focus on? How do I know what to do next? I didn't have a coach behind me. I didn't have somebody who had done this business before behind me saying, you might not want to do that right now. Let's save that for when these systems are in place. Right? That whole first year I was running around like with a chicken with its head cut off. You don't know where to go or where to focus. You don't know what step to take next to get you success faster. So that's one thing. You need to have a clear strategy. You might have all the motivation, but you don't have a clear roadmap. That's your strategy part, having the roadmap to help you, to guide you. And you might be wasting a lot of time doing a lot of different things, making a lot of different mistakes, right? And then you don't have results. And now you're like, well, this business doesn't work. And that's not necessarily true. Why? How could you even think that? You're brand new, but you didn't have a clear strategy. And technically, how could you? How could you have a clear strategy? You've never done it before, and you're doing it all on your own, and you're spreading yourself out too thin. How do you have a clear strategy? So imagine you're baking a cake and you don't have a recipe. All right. A lot of you grandmas, you know how to do that easily, right? You've done it 100,000 million times. Of course, you don't need a recipe. But if you're brand new to something, how would you know how much to put in what order to put it in? How would you even know? Okay. So if you don't know, then it's probably going to turn out to be a mess. And then you're going to blame the business for it turning out to be a mess when all you needed was a recipe. That's something I found with legacy builders. The recipe's built in, it's done for you. And the good news is it's a proven method. People are making six figures. There's $1 million earners, multiple $1 million earners in the program. They followed the clear strategy. They followed the step-by-step process to have an online business run successfully more quickly. Do you see what I'm saying? All right, give me a wave. Are you following? Oh, got a little itch there. So you want that step-by-step process. You want that coach behind you saying, move a little here, do a little there, hold back on this or that or the other, right? You want to know how to set up your social media, your content. Are you posting 3 times a day? Are you posting the right things 3 times a day? Are you going live? Are you getting all the comments? Don't let a comment go by without responding. Don't miss those. This last weekend, I went to my 40th high school reunion. Yes, I'm an old Gen X, and I was making content. I was doing what I thought I was supposed to be doing. And I came back home and I started looking and I found 4 comments from 4 days before asking for more information, and I totally let them down. I'm absolutely embarrassed. I'm mortified that I wasn't consistent. I didn't keep the strategy going wherever I was. Now, I can make excuses, right? I'm new. I've never had 4 comments come in that quickly that and for me to overlook them. I wasn't looking in the right place. Let's put it that way. When you're on multiple platforms, like I have my YouTube family and my TikTok family, comments are going to be in different places, right? And I have to build into my strategy. Remember to go here. Remember to click there and find them. Find your people and love on them. Love on your people. So that's part of the strategy. So if you can follow this proven strategy step by step, you're going to avoid those common mistakes of jumping from task to task and not following through on the right things, right? That's where you want. You want that clarity and consistency. Yes, we want that. So I want you to avoid these mistakes, okay? Doing it all yourself. And I call that a mistake only because it takes you longer. It takes you a lot longer to figure out what you're doing wrong when you're all alone, when you're doing it by yourself. Get something behind you, get a program behind you, get a mentor behind you, a coach to help. Focusing on the wrong platform, spreading yourself too thin. I want you to narrow your focus, and that'll help a lot. And then a clear strategy from the beginning. But I get it. If you are brand new, you don't know what kind of strategy you need. But if you're looking at digital marketing, there is a strategy. There's a proven process. And if you want those steps, I want you to go to nevertoolateincome.com. Put your email in, and immediately you are going to hear from me with how to have a six-figure income, doing the right steps to make that happen. And if you want more information on having the mentoring behind you and the e-learning platform behind you, you can join me with Legacy Builders. We can be business partners. Well, we're not business partners. We're independent business owners, but we will have that in common. We can be learning from each other, and in the community, in Legacy Builders, other business owners. You won't be doing it alone or all by yourself. So thank you. Thank you for today. Thank you for joining me. If this was helpful, please give me a subscribe, follow, like this, comment. I would love to hear from you. Type now in the comments, I want to send you more information, or you can just go to nevertoolateincome.com and you can get that information. So again, I appreciate your time. You guys are amazing. Thank you for all the likes and the follows. You guys have a great day, right? And I will see you back tomorrow. All right, everyone, have a great day. And thank you, YouTube family. You guys are amazing. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.